Hello everyone, I'm home. Welcome back to my channel. September 2025. What a terrible week it has been. Like my mom always said, it's the devil working overtime. And we can't let him win. We can't do that. So, my plan on this video is to take you guys away from all of that and provide you with something fun and exciting and just some thrifting and some decorating and some crafting and some weather and all that good stuff. And I hope you guys are doing okay. It's a cloudy day, but the sunflowers are out and there are 20 blooms now. And there are I think four getting ready to bloom probably next week because they're still pretty tight. And I see one at the top there, so maybe 5 more need to bloom yet. So that's 25 blooms on one stalk. Oh my gosh, guys, it's so beautiful. I wish the sun was out today so you could see how beautiful it is, but it's just as pretty without the sun. And here it comes, the much needed rain. As much as I've enjoyed these beautiful days we've had, we do need the rain. Our flowers need it and the yard needs it. I was hoping to catch some good thunder for you. It's been rumbling for about 20 minutes now and I love it. I'm sitting out here on my porch just loving it. I hope you guys are having a nice day where you are, and I'm going to show you a few thrifted things and where I put my cabinet, and just enjoy the rest of the video. I'm going to have to go inside. It's getting pretty wet up here on the porch. Oh my goodness. Get pretty close. I jumped about a foot off my seat, guys. And a big branch just fell in our driveway. Oh my goodness. I better go in the house. What I do for you people. So I was so glad that I was filming the storm when that strike happened, because it could have been bad. It's raining really hard, so nothing caught on fire, but it's the woods across from our house, and there's a little cabin that sits back there. And when I tried to get a screenshot from my video, I couldn't hardly get it because it was like a split second is all the more it lit up the sky. But as you can see, that's probably about a 50-foot range there where that sky or the ground is lit up with fire color. Oh my goodness, it was scary. And just like that, the storm has passed and it's calm and quiet out here. I'm glad nothing's on fire across the road in those woods. That's where it hit, really close. I'm going to go inside and enjoy the rest of my afternoon. It's pretty cool out here. I'm kind of cold. And I'm going to clean and organize. It's Saturday, but that's what I like to do. Putter around the house, get things done. And I'm going to take you guys thrifting with me and show you what I found last night. So let's go thrifting. Just when I told you that it had all calmed down, it started up again. But you know what? We need this rain. We haven't mowed our yard in 2 weeks because it just hasn't grown. And the flowers need it, and the farmers don't need it because the fields are all dried up and ready to be harvested. They've been harvesting for a couple of weeks though, and they're getting it. But it's a nice fall rain coming down pretty good. Still thundering. Hope we don't get any more of those lightning strikes. Oh my goodness. I said, oh boy. I couldn't even say oh boy when that happened. Anyway, I'm back out on the porch because I rocked in my chair for a little bit, and that's a little too close to the edge of the porch. I didn't want to get too wet, so I came back over here. But anyway, we're going to go thrifting. So this is that pretty bowl that I saw about a week ago. I told you about that I didn't get. It was only $4.99, but like I said, it's really difficult to display bowls, and this one was beautiful. It had yellow roses, beautiful yellow. It was in perfect condition, but I just passed on it because all of my stuff is more fruit or orange or pink, and I just didn't get it, but it's still there if anybody wants it. Then they had this beautiful set of the wheat dishes. My grandma had these, and this set looked like it had never been used. It was really every piece was there, I think. They had the big plates, the small, the cups. It was just very reminiscent of my grandma's kitchen. I saw this little milk glass basket. It's very small. This pattern was beautiful. This was an unusual shape for a creamer, and they had a lot of the pieces, a lot of the dinner plates and salad plates, bowls, cups, everything. And I really wanted those little salad plates for my little kids' table, but I didn't want to break up the set. Then they had this pretty set, and I loved them, but of course, I like more decorative dishes. But this whole set would have been probably $8. I think it was 99 cents a piece, but I didn't buy them, of course, but I wanted to show them to you guys. And then I saw this lamp that is just like the lamp that was my mom's that I lost and found at the thrift store. That was so amazing. This one doesn't have hand-painted roses on it, but it's from the exact same time because mine has the swans on each side. And it's just like it. I was happy to see it. And then I had seen this at Restore a couple of weeks ago in a frame, matted, and they wanted $20 for it, and I really wanted it but didn't want to pay $20. I went into the Mission the other day and they had this one unframed but matted, and they only wanted $2 for it, so I got it. Then I found this little cruet for my little kids cabinet, and then I found this. I forgot to take a picture of it in the store. It's the tiniest butter dish I've ever seen. Look how little it is. That crystal one or glass one is a child's one that's about 3.5 inches tall, maybe 4. And this was only about 2.5 inches tall. It is the cutest little milk glass butter dish, and it was $1.99. So I picked that up. Okay, this is what I did with that little cabinet I got. I need to stain it yet and put the other knob on. I cleaned it real good, and that knob came off. The other one didn't come off. And I set my little cupboard on top of it in front of my dining room window with my copper drapes kind of draped back behind them. And I decorated it all up, and it looks real cute for fall, but I probably won't keep it there much past Thanksgiving. But for the dishes I put in it, I put in my brown iron transferware, maybe. I call them my Bardstown dishes because when we went to Bardstown, Kentucky, that's what it reminded me of. And so I decorated it up with those because they're all little. I don't have any of the big plates. I think I have one, but I don't have it out. And I love this little cabinet because it's got such deep shelves. It's about 18 inches deep, maybe. So I put all my Bardstown dishes, I call them, and a little bit of glass. And I love it. And some of my white ironstone and that little soup tureen. I'll see if I can find that one in the magazine to show you guys. I have so many magazines and I look at them all the time. But these shelves are really deep. This cabinet goes back pretty far. But I love the way it looks on that little cupboard in my dining room, and I'll keep it there for a while until probably before Thanksgiving when I have to move my table out. But I'm real happy with it sitting here so I can see it more. It's so quiet this morning. Kevin isn't up yet, and I'm up making videos for you guys. So, yeah, I love my little cupboard. I don't think anybody would ever think it wasn't an old antique because it sure looks that it's beat up and it's got some dings in it and the 2 or 3 different colors and all that. And then over here, I had this crock and this little berry ring and some old books, and I just put that there to sit on the side of it. I can't leave a space unattended. And as you know, I'm terrible at measuring, but I went back and measured, and the shelves are actually 14 inches deep. But it's really nice because they're deep enough to hold a lot of my dishes. And those dishes in the background have a different name. They're Heritage Hall, they're called, and there's different patterns of them. But I call them Bardstown because I like that name. My husband the other day said, there's something wrong with that bowl on the kitchen table, that gold bowl. I said, what's wrong with it? I couldn't imagine there being anything wrong with it. I just set it out. He said, well, it doesn't have any candy corn in it. So I've got to go buy some candy corn for my little boy who likes his candy. And then when I'm thrifting the other day, I found this Barbasol jar, and it was $1.99, and I swooped it up because it was glass. Barbasol jars are expensive. I have them in my beauty shop. I have a plastic one right now because I broke my glass one, and they're pretty pricey, especially the old ones. So I did buy that for my beauty shop. And then I bought these 3 glasses that are cranberry glass, etched grapes, and leaves because I have one of those glasses that was Mrs. Mocklett's. She gave it to me. It was her drinking glass, and I used it for a drinking glass, and I was thrilled to find 3 more. So I got those, and then Aunt Kathy's Kitchen, I told you these were the kind of glasses that she had, and I kind of wanted to buy these. They were such a memory for me, and they're kind of textured so you don't drop them, and they were in perfect condition, but I didn't. Then I saw this set I wanted to show you because I'd never seen it before. It looked like platinum, like a real bright silver, like mid-century modern cups maybe, with the prettiest little silver handles. They were in perfect condition, looked like they had never been used. And I thought, wouldn't it have been wonderful if they had all the plates and all the other things that went with it? But I didn't see anything but the 4 cups, but they were so pretty, I wanted to show them to you. The bad thing about these is you can't put them in the microwave at all, but they were so pretty. I thought the little handles were so pretty, and their mugs at this Goodwill are 99 cents, so that wouldn't have been bad. And then I saw this pretty bowl. I just took a picture of it because it had the pears on it. And in the fall, I love my pears. And this coffee mug was cute. But I have lots of mugs and I don't need any more. These napkin rings were beautiful with the birds. Oh, I just loved them. But I've got 2 sets of napkin rings, and who really needs that many? I found this little dish. It's only 5.5 inches long. I measured it. It'll look adorable on one of my children's tablescapes. I thought you could just put just about anything in it, and it was kind of dirty. I think it was 69 cents. I got it at the Mission. And then I found this little creamer that's only about 4 inches tall, and another plate. The reason I bought this was because it was 99 cents and it was in perfect condition. This plate, which looks like a basket of roses, was 99 cents, so I had to get it. And then this one with the strawberries. Oh my gosh, guys, I have a plate like this. I think it has cherries on it, but you know me with my vintage fruit dishes. I had to have it. It was $1.99, and I thought, you know what? You can't go to the Dollar General and buy something for $2 that's that beautiful. And our little Tracy Porter footed pedestal-like cereal bowls are not working out. They are the most fragile bowls I've ever seen. I've only washed them a few times, and they've got little nicks all around the edge. This is the only one we have left after a week. They're just chipping up something terrible. So I got in the cabinet and I pulled out my Ironstone Meakin ware Johnson Brothers England. They're old as the hills, probably 100 years old, but we're going to use them because they've been here this long. They're not going to fall apart. Now, this was the door. I think I've showed you this before. This is the door off of the old house we lived in town. We had a little Victorian cottage, I called it. And the doors were in bad shape as far as letting in air and stuff. So we got new doors, and I kept both of the doors. One of the doors has a little ringer on it. And I took this one when we left. Well, I brought them both. And I put little hooks at the top and little, I think you call them brackets maybe. They're real decorative brackets that I got at Hobby Lobby. And I screwed those to the door. And the board I did have on it, it's been out in the garage for a while, is long gone. So I put 2 boards on it just until I get a better board. But these are in bad shape and I don't care. I like them. And I decorated it. I cleaned it all up and put it back in my house. I've taken it outside because it gets in the way sometimes. But I put this fabric behind the window because it's a beautiful fall fabric and it's been there for a long time. I hung some baskets and greenery across the top. It looks really pretty at night. This is the little hallway where our pantry is, right across the hall from it. And when you come around the corner at night going into the kitchen, you've got a little light, a little battery operated candle light. But like I said, this door has been 2 different colors. It's been in all my houses. It's just a little place to put more pretty things, and I just love it. Now I'm going to show you a little cabinet that I made that you guys could make in 10 minutes. When Judy and I used to have our dollhouses and we wanted antique furniture, and back then you didn't have Etsy or the internet, for that matter, to order things from, we had to go to dollhouse shows, and anything that looked primitive or antique was so expensive. So Judy said, well, we can just make our own. We'll just cut pictures out of magazines. So we would cut pictures out of magazines like this picture. I just took this off of the internet, and I made 2 copies of it. And you take cardboard and you glue your image to the cardboard. Now, if I was doing this to sell, I would take a picture of my own cabinet to do this with, but if you're just doing it for yourself, you can get them out of magazines or off the internet. And you take your cardboard. Now, this is thicker cardboard than like the back of a notepad, like a tablet. It's a little firmer, but you could use regular cardboard. I've used that before. And you just glue your image to it. Now, I copied off 2 images because the main image is going to go on your cardboard, and then you're going to bend your cardboard like it's the cupboard, and you're going to cut your other image up and use that to glue down on the side to make the sides of the cupboard. And that little part at the bottom that's dark, that's the shadow in the picture, and I just left it there so it looks like the shadow on the floor. And then, like I said, you just glue it on there, take your image from the other piece that you printed, and put it on the side piece. I hope you can tell what I'm doing here. And you can put a piece of tape across the back, you can put another piece of cardboard across the back, but since it goes against the wall, you don't need to. And then I took a little piece, well, there's the other side. That's the other side of the cabinet where I took the clipping from the other picture and glued it on. And as you can see, it looks like a little cabinet. And they're just adorable, and they've got some weight to them. Then I took the cardboard and made my own top. You can just use the paper, but I used a little piece of cardboard, and I dented it and I scratched it and I rounded the corners like they would be from a worn cabinet, and then I stained it and I glued it to the top of the little cabinet. And then I stained the cabinet a little bit. Now this is Victorian wallpaper, but I grabbed my little French cottage dollhouse to set this in to show you what it looked like up against the wall. It looks like a realistic piece of furniture, and until you can buy furniture or make your own, it works out just fine. I have a lot of rooms in some of my houses that have furniture like this, and I want to work on another project to make a cabin, and I'll show you that later. Now I took a bunch of little berries and pips and stuff and a little piece of cardboard, and I started putting leaves in a circle. This is going to be about the size of a $50 to hang on the door of my little Victorian cottage, my little shabby chic cottage. I just took some berries, and I wanted it to look like I'd just gone out into the woods and foraged a bunch of stuff and made me a wreath. This is what's usually by the door of my little cottage, but I blinged it out for fall. I put the wreath on the door, and my little mum is actually a piece of sedum that I pulled from my plant and put it in a little crock, and then I painted the sedum red, made it look like a burgundy mum. And then my friend Sherry had given me all these little pumpkins. I made that taller pumpkin there in the back, but then up over the door I set some of the little pumpkins and some fall foliage and put all kinds of stuff on it. I just kept going. My window boxes at one time this summer had little buntings on them. One of them has come off, so I left it on there because it brightens it up. Now these little stars, I'm not crazy about the barn stars, but in the fall I'll let them be in there, okay? And I think they look pretty in the fall with all the pumpkins and the mums and the pretty little things that I gathered together. Now I burnt my finger so many times making that little wreath, and I used tweezers and I had glue strings flying everywhere, but I thought once it was all done it looked really cute. Now I do want to work on this little building. I want to put a new door on it. I want to even sand down some of the wood and possibly put some new siding on it, bricks. I haven't really decided yet, but I have had so much fun with this little house. I got it for $5 at a yard sale years ago, and it was painted royal blue, and I spray painted it white, stained the shutters or the shingles that were painted blue as well, and I've decorated the whole inside, and I've had so much fun with this little house. This is it sitting out in the yard after I got it all decorated. When I was little, my cousins lived in a town where there was this old grayish white house with a big front porch, and an old lady lived there that everyone called the witch lady. And I called it the pumpkin house because she was kind of a scary old woman. She was probably just lonely and, stayed home a lot, but she grew pumpkins and she would set them on her porch, and you could go up and get a pumpkin and just she had a jar, and you just throw a quarter or 50 cents in the jar. I don't remember what we gave for them. Some kids probably stole them. But looking back now, I think she was just an old lady that was by herself, and she got a lot of joy out of having all of her pumpkins on her porch. And she had a little side door that she used, and we'd see her come out and go to the store, and everybody was scared of her. And I think about her all the time. So when I got ready to do my little thing, my little porch, I thought, those steps need redone really bad, but I'm going to go ahead and decorate it like the Pumpkin Lady's house in memory of her. And I wish I'd have went up and talked to her and got to know her, because I know she was a really sweet lady. But these steps need redone. They need to be restained. They need some railings put on them. Those have broken off. But my friend Sherry had given me this bag of potpourri that had all these little pieces. I don't know what these little things are called, but they look like pumpkins. Tell me if you know what they're called. And I put them on the porch. I don't know if you can see inside the window here, but you can see a bowl and a recipe book through the kitchen window. So yeah, I've been decorating inside, been decorating my little cabinet with my little dishes and all my glass, and enjoying it so much, and putting all my little ironstone and my Bardstown plates in there. And then down to my little miniature dollhouse, and I've really been enjoying it. So it kind of took my mind off of things this week. I thought about stuff the whole time I was working on all this, and I thought, what's the answer? I think everybody has a difference of opinion, and that should be fine, but we need to learn to love one another no matter what the other person thinks, and get rid of the violence. And I don't know what the answer is, but I do know this. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I can't believe that we're still here. I've made over 150 videos, and it's been so much fun, and I hope my mission is to take you guys away for a minute and have a little bit of fun and see a little bit of beauty and enjoy my craziness. Love you.